The Ash, Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
Okay, Miley Hogan is the 7 News US correspondent, and today she is in New Mexico looking over the trial of Alec Baldwin. It's begun this week in a court in New Mexico where he's standing trial over the killing of the Rust cinema photographer in October 2021. Morning, Miley.
Good morning.
We're trying to get our head around this. So can you bring us up to date from when this incident first happened, which was in 2021, what legal avenues have been navigated to lead to this point?
Look, there has been a number of different legal avenues to get to this point. It's almost been 3 years since that tragic tragedy on that set where the cinematographer was killed. Charges were brought against Alec Baldwin, then they were dropped, and then they were brought against him again, which has brought us to where we are now in this case today that has started now with opening arguments. And look, he's been charged with involuntary manslaughter. So what prosecutors are trying to prove is that he acted recklessly with that weapon on set. They're trying to prove that he didn't follow protocols and that he was reckless with it. They'll have to prove that he was negligent with the gun. But the defence team are going to argue that he was an actor just acting and that it's actually the responsibility of people, other people on set, other crew members to make sure that they wasn't full of live bullets.
Yeah, it's interesting here. I know that the court heard the 911 call that was played in court, I think, yesterday. Where Baldwin's saying, you can hear him saying, I didn't mean to shoot, I didn't pull the trigger, and then a caller then went on to blame the assistant director, saying that effing AD, he's responsible. So you've got all these different moving parts happening in that 911 call rather. Yeah,
look, to catch people up as well, the armourer who was responsible for loading that gun, she has been found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and is right now behind bars. She was sentenced to the maximum 18 months behind bars. So that evidence as well will be put into this case. She could be called to testify as well here. What the defence team is trying to do is frame it that it was her responsibility to make sure that gun didn't have any live ammunition in it, not the job of the actor, that the gun should have been checked, gone through all of those checks and been safe before it was handed over to Alec Baldwin. But just to be clear here as well, this is a really rare case because live ammunition really shouldn't be on set. It's not something that is on set. They're not using real bullets. They're using blanks. And so the big question is, how did this bullet even get on to the film set? They have not been able to figure that out yet. The only thing they have been able to prove in that other case with the armourer was that she was responsible for loading it with a live bullet.
And they still weren't able to establish how it was put on. So, but if she was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, that's the same thing as what Alec is facing. So if found guilty, is he facing a similar time frame behind bars, 18 months?
Yeah, that's the maximum that he can be given, 18 months behind bars. There's obviously different levels of that the judge could give him if he is convicted of this crime. But it's going to be interesting to see how the jury, how they react to this evidence, because the prosecution are trying to put gun safety at the centre of their arguments, saying they've already told the jury this morning in their opening arguments, this is not a prop gun. You're going to hear the term prop gun over and over again during this trial, but you need to remember that it's also a real gun and that he committed the cardinal sin when he pointed that weapon at another person and fired the trigger. So it's going to be a really interesting case on how the jury will find this evidence.
And did he make an appearance today? And if so, did he keep his cool? Because he can be a bit of a hothead.
Yeah, he does have a reputation for being a hothead, losing his temper, but he has been very calm this entire time. He's been here the last 3 days. Today he arrived. His wife is also here with him. His brother is here with him. Yesterday he arrived with his wife as well. They even brought one of their young children along. The child didn't go into the courtroom though. They handed the child off to a nanny. So it's been quite a family affair. And look, it's all been very Hollywood. If you didn't know, the Baldwins are also in the process of filming a reality TV show. So it'll be interesting to see if this case gets a feature in that show. So that's another layer to this case all unfolding over here in America.
And is there a timeline on what we can expect, some sort of result in this, or we'll just roll on for a couple of weeks?
Well, the trial's only meant to last 8 days, and the judge is a taskmaster. I believe that they will try to get it done within that time. They wanted the jury selected in 1 day, and the judge made that happen. So it's supposed to be all of the evidence done in 8 days with the closing arguments, and then the jury will go and deliberate, and that can take however long the jury wants it to take. But we should have a verdict not long after that.
Thanks, Miley. Thanks for
Miley.
the update.
Thanks, guys.
Miley Hogan, she's the
Thanks, guys.
7 News US correspondent. You'll be able to watch her on the news tonight.
The Ash, Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
Speaking to Anoxia, you may have seen her going absolutely viral the last couple of days, busking on the Queen Street Mall and just plucked Teddy Swims
Boom.
out of the walkers by to perform his own song alongside her outside the Hungry Jacks.
By the way, a lady got in touch with me. She sent me a message and said that they do pay wave their busking now. You don't have to throw the money in. She said, I was in London. I paid a busker via tap and go. And he had a sign saying that each tap was £3.
Just a set fee. Yeah, nice.
That's the way they do it now.
Anoxia might have to bump her money up a little bit. We'll have to ask her about that. Whether she's got one of the devices, maybe. Or she's still going
nuts on
coins.
TikTok.
Yeah.
I wonder if window washers at red lights now.
It's going to change the industry.
Do you want floppies with that?
The Ash, Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
2 days ago.
Yeah, Tuesday I think it was.
I'm going to say it was. Anoxia was performing, busking in the mall. She was singing this song, Teddy Swims. And then Teddy rocks up and starts singing along with her. Have a listen to this, and then we'll speak to Anoxia.
Get out of town. Yeah, you have to join me.
Really?
You go. You go.
I lose control when you're not next to me. I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? I lose control when you're not next to me.
When you're not next to me.
Yeah.
I'm breaking my heart.
Yeah. Little combo deal. Started singing together, in sync, dancing with each other. What a thrill that must have been. Anoxia, how are you?
I'm crazy. How are you?
Has anything like that ever happened to you before? Surely.
No,
I couldn't believe
no, I feel so lucky.
I couldn't believe how cool and calm you were. Like you didn't even freak out. You were just able to sort of go along with it.
I think because I just handed him the microphone. I was just like, take over. I can't speak. I can't do it.
And you had 2 mics, which was because how was that? That second mic was just ready to go. I mean, it would have been a lot harder if you only had 1 mic. I mean, it sort of worked out perfectly.
No, I know. I planned it this way. I knew that he was going to be in Brisbane. I knew that he was playing a show that night, and I thought to myself, well, I've seen all of the videos of him collaborating with buskers. I'm going to try my luck, and so I set up super early in the morning, prepared to go all day just for the chance, and so I was prepared. And it was nuts. Just to see him walk up with that expression was crazy.
Right, I was going to ask that. So you knew that he was in town, he does have a history of these type of things. So if you set up first thing in the morning, did you spot him down the Queen Street
because you
Mall
were
and
playing
then
the
start
song.
singing?
No, because he came from behind me. I watched the video back and he walked from behind me, and I was scanning the crowd, hoping, all the time, and he was there, and it was nuts. I mean, you see the video, so...
But how often were you playing Teddy Swim songs for that to happen? Were you on repeat?
I did one Teddy Swim song, one cover, so I switched them, and I was only doing 2 of his biggest songs, so it was just annoying for the businesses around me, I'm sure.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Oh, so you were doing a bit of a repeat. And so how many hours how long did you perform for before you
rocked up?
I was there for about an hour before.
That's madness.
It's not bad. I was prepared to go all day.
Do you reckon he caught wind of the fact that someone was in the mall singing his songs, or was it just sheer chance? Or do you reckon someone's gone, look, someone's singing a lot of Teddy?
I have no idea. It feels like sheer chance.
Yeah.
Truly.
That's madness. So what did he? So he sang "Lose Control." Then he stayed on and sang Rihanna with you. Is that right?
Yeah. So we did a cover. We did 2 of his songs. So we did the Lose Control and we did The Door. And then he said, "Oh, what should we do?" And I suggested maybe some Rihanna. And he was saying that he's actually good friends with Mickey, the guy that wrote that song. So we sang that really beautifully together, and it was very special.
Which Rihanna song was it?
Stay, was it?
Stay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And did you get a big crowd around you? Like, did word pass around pretty quickly?
Yeah, I think once people recognised who he was, like the crowd just tripled in size. It was wild.
And you what happened then? Did he exchange? Did he follow you on Instagram or anything? Like, can you leverage this in any way now? You reckon?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the attention that it's gotten is crazy for me, and it's so nuts. But after the show, he basically said thank you. He said he's got a full day booked. He was swarmed by people, literally jumping over the bench trying to get a photo with him and chat to him. And so his bodyguards are like ushering him away, and he's jumping over the top of these giant men saying, let's hang out, come to my show, come to my show. And so his management and labels, they took me to their show, and we got to see it on a proper sound system and got to speak on some few things, which was very exciting.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So you ended up going. You ended up going to the show because you're a musician in your own right, aren't you? You're 19 years of age.
Yes.
Yeah. And what do you got going on music-wise? Do you write your own stuff, or where are you at?
I do. I've been making music for a while now. I've got 3 songs out on Spotify, and a few more coming this year, which is very exciting.
That's pretty good. And you're from Melbourne. Are you based in Brizzy now?
I'm based in Gold Coast, so I spend most of my time busking in Gold Coast, but I travel quite frequently, so everywhere at the same time.
Okay, so we've been throwing this around the office this morning, like what a busker can make. And, not if something breakout like that happens with...
just on a normal day.
Yeah, with Teddy Swims rocking up, although I'd be interested to know if people started sort of throwing some money in the can. And I
think I made about $20.
Oh, wow.
With Teddy. So, the publicity is great, but...
No one's thrown in the coin.
So what can you make in a typical busking session? Like, what's the stock standard day of busking?
Well, I mean, the economy sucks right now, so it's not doing amazing as it was a few years ago, but it's enough to get by. It's enough for me to live comfortably and happily and still support my music, so it's good.
The Ash, Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
Lutsy's got a new system that he's adopted that, like if he buys a new T-shirt, so if every one new item that comes in...
Yep.
Is it 6 have to go out?
No, I just throw double out.
Oh, double out,
right.
yes.
So 2, if it was 1 shirt, 2 are got to leave.
Two shirts of the same ilk or just...
well, they're similar. Yes.
I like this, by the way.
Yeah, because I've just got to declutter. I've got too much stuff in my cupboard.
Well, we moved from a house to a unit. And we, I'm in
a unit.
You move into a unit. Yeah, but it's one thing coming from a house to a unit where we got the kids and all the rest of it. That when we came into the unit, it was like, this is streamlined, Willie. Like, we don't have the storage space anymore. And I got rid of so much of my stuff there. And guess what? You don't miss it.
No.
You don't miss it.
It's ridiculous.
You don't need as many T-shirts as what you've got. No. You don't need as many shorts.
The other day, because we're behind the bridge to Brisbane, and Brooks is the sponsor, they sent us some Brooks gear. Nice, great pair of shoes, running shoes, and also 3 pairs of Brooks socks. I'm wearing a pair right now. Fantastic. 3 new pairs of Brooks socks. 6 pairs have to go. So I went through. If there was a bit of elasticity gone, I thought these socks have been in here for a long, long time. I had a pair I got from the Noosa Triathlon about 15 years ago. They're out.
They're done.
So essentially...
Thank you for your service.
If we continue to do this, I'll halve the amount of junk I have in my cupboards. I think it's a good way to do it.
Yeah. No, so what do? Do you just chuck it out or you take it down to the... what do you do?
What are you supposed to do? I'll do whatever you're supposed to do.
The Ash, Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
Did you see that Curtis Scott knocked out Barry Hall in a boxing match in the first round?
Curtis Scott?
Yeah.
Who's that?
He's a former NRL player.
Curtis Scott?
Yeah, I'm glad that you didn't remember him because I barely remember him. He played for Melbourne. I remember he played for Melbourne. Who else did he play
Canberra.
For? Did he?
Yeah, I'm looking at him in a Raiders jersey now. Yeah, I don't know the name, but I've seemed to have forgotten about him as well.
Yeah.
Last played in 2021. Yeah.
He last played in 2021. Yeah. I don't even think he's
Barry Hall.
I think Barry Hall is like 47, and Curtis Scott, he could still be playing footy.
He's 26.
Yeah, he's 26
Yeah.
years of age.
He's 26.
Yes.
What? When did he retire from footy? Did he?
Well, he must have to take up boxing.
Yeah, 47.
It's different
Barry.
when they start giving the ages. It's like there was an assault on an old man last night.
Exactly. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Barry got knocked out in the first round too. He's a big unit.
Oh, God, yeah. I'd expect the other way around. Like, it wouldn't have surprised me. I knew that he'd been beaten. I didn't know it was the first round.
Yeah, but it was a 26-year-old against a 47-year-old. Which reminds me, when's the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight?
I don't know.
Oh, please don't let Jake Paul win that.
I feel like
Please,
it's been delayed. It was supposed to be
it's
in the
definitely
next couple of weeks,
Yeah.
but now Friday the 15th of November. Yeah, it got pushed back.
Why did that get pushed back? Because that was meant to be in July.
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
rescheduled.
It could be the biggest fight in history, though. Like this.
yeah.
Pay-per-view and everything.
Well, it's Netflix, remember?
Oh, Netflix.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
free. If you got Netflix,
streaming.
it's going to be one of their live events. They've been doing it with stand-up comedy recently, but they're starting to get into the live sports game.
And you don't have to pay any extra.
Yeah, so is it just... Yeah, that's the question. That's what we were asking yesterday about the Olympics and stuff. Obviously, Nina got their thing, and then Stana got...
Now, this Netflix one is apparently it'll be the first time they've streamed a live sports event. But you won't have to pay. You know how they sometimes put a paywall up?
Yeah.
You've got to pay extra. I don't think you do on this.
Right.
And I think it's being sanctioned as an official fight. So, like on the legendary career of Mike Tyson, if he loses to Jake Paul, it will be.
Oh, if that's the case.
I hope it doesn't happen.
The Ash, Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.